Welcome to the Yes It's Legal podcast. Today we have our star, Branson. He's the production director at Snapdragon Hemp.
I'm Branson McGee, director of all things production for Snapdragon Hemp, overseeing all the lab extractions and all lab operations, as well as all product packaging, quality control, everything that has to do with producing products.
Yeah, Branson is amazing at what he does. When he started with us years ago, he was a lab technician brought in, and he's helped create and formulate some of the best products that we have at Snapdragon Hemp. So wanted to bring Branson in today just to kind of go over, what hemp or cannabis is for Branson, what got him into the hemp industry, and what made him choose Snapdragon. All these fun things to chat about.
For sure.
So
I'm here.
Yeah. So I guess first, hemp industry versus cannabis industry, and all these things that we do in our state of Tennessee. What are your thoughts on it?
Overall thoughts. All right. Well, to start, they're basically realistically, they're the same industry overall, depending, as far as the products that we can produce, especially THC products, things of that nature.
In the state of Tennessee.
In the state of Tennessee specifically, we currently love our hemp laws. Our hemp laws are going good. We have some upcoming potential changes. We're trying to hope for the best. But with our current laws, we can, regulations are nice. Everything's third-party tested. Everything goes out quality. And, we can produce a lot of products with our current Tennessee regulations. So, we're enjoying the current Tennessee hemp industry for sure.
Nice. It's definitely been a fun journey for sure. Let's think about. I'm trying to come up with some questions about the production type ideas about. Let's see. Getting into coming from the extraction side of stuff to now more the manufacturing side of stuff. Can you explain to us about I believe it's important to have control of our products the way that we do. Can you explain to us about what your thoughts are on the extraction and why we do things a little different at Snapdragon?
Yeah, for sure. So Snapdragon, we produce all our own products. We have a full extraction facility. We can do different types of extractions of different types of materials. I don't know where to go from there.
Oh, sure. Well, it's neat because on the extraction side of stuff for farmers, we started in 2019 or so. Everybody was growing in Tennessee, growing. So it was really cool to see these folks growing and quickly realize, well, not everybody wants to smoke all the stuff that we've grown thousands of acres with outdoors. So the idea of extraction for manufacturing products that are something that, you don't have to smoke, that you don't have to, every time you want to feel a little THC, you don't have to light up a joint or whatever. So all these cool products. And then the water-soluble stuff's been so fun. So to be able to take, hey, this is grown from a field, let's put it into a drink and make a bunch of cans, and it hits you in 10 or 15 minutes, like all the different types of product stuff. And
good stuff.
Yeah.
With Tennessee locally grown stuff too, it's great having that extraction. Like you said, it's great having that extraction facility because it really exponentially increases the products we can produce. Once we have an extracted, clean, pure cannabinoid extract, we can basically make any product ever with it, from all of our edibles, gummies and brownies to, like you said, with the RINs 9. Once we have water-soluble cannabinoids, because all cannabinoids are oil-based, oil and water does not mix. They never want to mix. But once you have that RINs 9 technology making all cannabinoids completely water-soluble, it just knocks the door open for all of the things that we could produce. Now we could literally produce anything, from drinks to any kind of sauces or literally anything consumable, anything. And you have your rapid onset, your 15-20 minute onset rather, with the water-soluble products rather than your 45 minutes to an hour and a half, onset for your normal baked goods, your normal consumption of cannabinoids.
Yeah.
Oil-based,
yeah. With all these crazy products, what's been the most fun, crazy product that you got to create so far? And let's hear about some of the steps to how that come to fruition.
All right. Let's start off with craziest. One of the most wild things, I would say. Something I never thought I would produce, but then we produced a lot of them, and that would be suppositories. Starting off with the suppositories. Yeah. Good product for people that need that type of medication for sure. And I mean, no, as far as I knew, no other company is doing it. So it's kind of a one of a kind thing that I currently know of. But yeah, going into the water soluble, that's just it's been a game changer for what we can produce with all of our canned drinks, everything that we currently produce. Um, I originally, before I got into the cannabis industry, I have a lot of restaurant and just bar experience. I worked in mini bars, managed mini bars, so I've always been kind of a mixologist. I've always been a flavor chaser. So coming into the cannabis industry, having our RINS 9 technology, being able to make mocktails and non-alcoholic but cocktail influence type drinks, it's been a game changer. It's so nice. It's so fun. I really enjoy all the R&D in the lab of coming up with new flavor combinations and just things to push the boundaries of what we can actually achieve as a hemp company here in Tennessee.
Yeah, your new flavors got me thinking about. So we've been doing the slushies now since summer of 2022. So 2 years in doing the slushies at the stores. You can go into a slushie on the weekend, get a $6 50 milligram slushie to go. We sell a lot of the slushies for sure in the stores. And then as I just did the Dragon, one of the Dragon downtown is more of the social cannabis lounge experience where you can come and partake in a bar type vibe with food coming soon. These next couple of weeks, we're gonna start introducing some food items over there. But thinking about bar type stuff with cannabis type stuff, the most recent thing that I've enjoyed so much, Branson just made a margarita slushy.
Yeah, it's so good.
It tastes so good. And everybody that's tried it so far they've all just said it has that flavor, like it tastes like it's got alcohol.
Tastes like a real margarita.
It tastes like a real margarita, but with no alcohol.
Exactly, and that was the goal, to give that margarita alternative, but not just a lime flavored slushy. I wanted it to taste like a real margarita, but with no alcohol. So we have our own tequila extract. Is a extremely concentrated tequila flavoring. So non-alcoholic, but tastes like straight tequila. So adding that to our personal mix of, our margarita mix, it was just a perfect combination. It tastes like a real margarita. You put salt around the rim, it's a margarita. No one would notice the difference.
Oh yeah,
but non-alcoholic.
Yeah, and it was so neat to see like that the tequila extract that he's talking about. Also in the lab as well too. Herman works in the lab, helps mix stuff out. Now that Branson's took that next level for production director, so I was in the lab with Herman a couple days ago, and he wanted to make me a sample of the margarita flavor just to try. And he's like, I've got a minimum I have to make, and I forgot it was 8 or 12 ounces or whatever.
Yeah.
And he made this 8 or 12 ounce mixture and took one individual droplet of the tequila and one
it is
drop.
So potent, I literally we tried making small just samples just for taste test and whatnot, but the tequila extract is such a potent flavor that one drop goes so far.
I couldn't imagine the first time trying some of those flavors out. What was that like? Because you don't know that one drop takes 16 ounces. Exactly. You're like, what is one drop, dude? And then
we first tried it. You physically can't measure less than one single drop. So our first round was it was almost like it tastes pretty much like a shot of tequila, with lime and everything, but it was just so potent on the tequila flavor. Took a little work to dial it in just right, but now it's it's not overpowering. It has that perfect kick, but it's there. You taste tequila when you drink it, but it's not overpowering. You still have that lime sweetness from the rest. It's really good.
Yeah. I like it for sure. Yeah, the flavors of all the I know our strawberry over the winter. I like to support local on some of these flavors that we get. So the Holders concessions downtown on Willow Street.
Holders, yeah.
They make some of they make pretty much anybody that does frozens in Chattanooga. They make their extracts and flavors, and the slushy trucks that are driving around, they're the guys that do it, and they do a great job with their flavor. But over the winter they take a break, and we run out of, was it the strawberry we run out of?
Yeah, they took a break on the strawberry.
Yeah. But
over the winter.
Yeah. Other than that one, just thinking about some of the new creations or whatever. Have you had any other fun ones lately?
As far as the slushies, no, not recently. We've tried a good bit of their flavorings. They have a lot of really good stuff. But with the new margarita coming out, I am excited about the swirl options. Because I've thought about we could flavor the margaritas. We can make a strawberry margarita, blah blah blah. But with us already having those seshy flavors, or strawberry, grape, tropical, and blue raz, you can just do a swirl straight from the slushy machine in it. So you
Yeah.
can margarita with a flavor swirl. So if you want a strawberry margarita or blue raspberry margarita, done, easy, you know.
So cool.
So yeah, yep. A lot of good stuff coming up soon.
Yeah, I like it. So out of all the stuff that you could create, if you had no limit to it, what would be the craziest thing that you would come up with in the cannabis world? No limit, the whole country, no rules. What would be the most fun thing you'd want to do?
Most fun. See, that's an interesting question, because my thought originally just immediately goes to, well, I think about our current Tennessee hemp laws, and we can already do so much currently. It's great. But if there was no legal limit as well, I'm not big on pushing borders of potency. I'm more of I like a variety of products with, like a consistent potency. But um, I mean, overall, I would just, our THCA laws are great, but if we could just grow actual standardized cannabis and we
The
had a
grow
fully
aspect.
legal, yeah, like
Yeah.
that's where my mind goes. We already make so many good
Oh,
products,
sure.
our products, they're incredible, and we have so many of them, hundreds and hundreds of different products. So my mind with that question goes to actual flower, basically, just actually being able to produce fully in our state everything that we would want to produce that we can't currently produce.
Without
We
me,
have some limitations currently,
sure.
but
The grow area is definitely the greatest part
it's
of
the grow area.
what we do in the state of Tennessee, because a lot of the other states that have taken on a THC law, like Tennessee has come up with their own grow regulations. If you go out to Colorado or California or whatnot, and you want to become a grower of THC, well, here's a marijuana license to do it. Tennessee is they're not a fan of the word marijuana, so they've allowed the USDA hemp program to take over. Tennessee did their own grow regulations, all their own supervisory, pre-harvest reports, post-harvest reports, all your inspections, everything Tennessee Department of Ag controlled for years on the grow. And we did their grow 2018, 19, 20, and 21. We did it with Tennessee up in Dayton and Evansville and Spring City. Some beautiful places, had some greenhouses, some beautiful land we've leased out, and we still continue to lease the land for future growth. But whenever the USDA took over in 2022, that completely destroyed the system that we have in Tennessee. It's the big battle between
Yep.
This is what Tennessee wants versus this is what USDA wants. But Tennessee has a better hemp program than anybody else in the country, so it doesn't really fit USDA's hemp growth standards. In my mind, what would be the best thing to happen for Tennessee is that they realize that the USDA hemp program is for textiles and agriculture. You want to make floor, you want to make a 2x4, you want to make whatever out of hemp shirts, you need to go through the USDA program. If you want to grow it for smokable material, consumable products, the idea of medicine, any of those type of things like that, you need to have a state-run program for growing that's way differently regulated. It just allows for a lot of potential for the reason why these states picked up their own grow license in Oregon, for example, that goes above and beyond. Oregon, it's harder to grow in Oregon than it is in Michigan by far because they set their guys up for success. Here's the nutrients that you can use. Here's the brands you can use. Here's what you can and can't use. So they've done a good job there. And it would be nice if Tennessee would pick up on the grow aspect for sure.
Yeah,
That'd open up a lot of doors. Man, it was crazy in 2018, 2019. There was almost 4,000 people that grew in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Last
Big
year there was I think 340 something. So nobody's growing anymore. USDA called us up last year and it's like, are you going to renew your license? Are you growing again? We told them no. And most of the growers that we deal with and extract for, they're not even getting a license again. So we'll see how that goes. Sad thing for sure.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
A lot of good push for it.
Yeah. The grow is what's needed, for sure.
Yeah.
Grow factors in Tennessee. Most definitely.
Sure. Right. Well, out of all these crazy things that we make, I've always liked to say we make something for everybody. So somebody comes in, old grandma comes in, never been high before, wants to feel good, relax and chill and go to sleep easily. Or the seasoned stoner comes in and wants to roll up because they just got off work and smoke with the boys or whatever, right? So something for everybody. Could you kind of give me a little rundown about maybe whenever you're maybe making products or whenever you're thinking
Yeah,
about
for sure.
stuff?
Just trying to provide for every consumer. Yeah, that's our main goal with Snapdragon. We put out great stuff, but we want to really, we go for satisfaction with our customers. So we want to produce things that, are readily available for everyone, but in the category that they want. Not all people want to smoke or vape or, use their lungs at all. Some people only want edibles, or some people also only want edibles, but they don't like the sweets, especially diabetic people with, or just people that have sugar issues where they can't eat a brownie to get high to feel better, or, to get high, or taking it medicinally. So, producing all of our tinctures is always a great route for people that can't consume a lot of sugar, but either want their CBD, CBG, any kind of cannabinoid blend, or their THC for full relief as well. So we have all of these options. We go low to high with potency, especially, with new users. All of our retail associates are definitely very well trained with the public to give the people what they need, what they want, because some people, especially newer to this industry, they don't know what they want. They don't know what they need to try or consume. We have your vet smokers that, people have been smoking for 10 plus years and have no problem. So like we got those products as well for those people. But, a lot of people new to the industry don't want to be overwhelmed the first time, and we want to provide
education to
education to the products as well, not just here's the things we sell, here's why we sell it, here's why you would want to consume this, here's any risk factors or whatever that could be involved. All of our people are very, very well trained, very knowledgeable, and will always help out the public in any way. And from the manufacturing side, we produce everything we can to appeal to all consumers, from low level consumers to high level consumers to people that don't want anything psychoactive. They just want their CBD. They want the healing, more medicinal side of things. But then there's, we got products for the heavy hitters too, our connoisseur cones.
Oh, yeah, those things are so
incredible, grade A flower, top tier flower, coated in live resin, and then rolled in keef of that same strain specific flower. All of our keef that is on our connoisseurs is strain specific to that strain of the pre-roll. So those things, they'll burn for like an hour. Those things are great.
Oh yeah, for sure. Even the paper that is wrapped in is a
it's a hemp cone. Yeah.
It's kind of, but it's more like a normal joints will do like the regular, like the raw hemp paper.
Yeah, hemp paper. This is more like a hemp blunt
paper.
wrap. But it's fully hemp, but it's more like a blunt than a regular pre-rolled joint.
Yeah, that one was fun to do for sure.
Oh yeah. So that one's great.
Yeah. So that's what the big thing about education is. We can make products all day long, but if people don't, understand what they are, the differences between them. We make well over 500 products and different types of things. So the education, the retail store, you coming in, these guys that we have working at the retail counters are trained to educate. Hey, this is all the different things that we do.
Yep.
So big important thing for sure. And it's kind of, because it can be overwhelming when you come into one of our stores sometimes, because there are edibles and drinks.
There's so many products,
and vapes and topicals and
so
lotions,
many ways to consume.
There's so many ways.
Yeah.
But we try to make everything affordable and easy for anybody to try. So good stuff with it for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And you might not have. This is a little different one on this one, but I always enjoy this question because just in my years of being in retail and talking to folks, some of the people have come in with just some of the coolest or craziest or heartfelt stories that have helped them or whatnot. Do you have any kind of maybe customer testimony or just testimony, fun story?
Not so much off the top of my head. I'm not really in retail, retail side of Snapdragon. I'm in our lab in the back producing all the products. So I don't really have a lot of customer interaction. For the 420 Fest that we threw, which was incredible this year, it was massive, had a great turnout. It was incredible 420 Fest. We got lucky 420 fell on a Saturday, so it worked out. We were out at the park. It was an incredible event. Oh, yeah. And I ran the information tent, so I had all of the public being able to come up and ask me cannabis questions. How do we do this? I had a full display from start to finish. This is our flower. This is the source. We go from soil to oil, grow the flower, extractions. I walked everyone through that, and then different types of products and stuff we made. So it was nice to see all of the all of the product tints lined up with the information tint, because we're not here to just sling products. Like we want the public to be well informed on the things that we produce, know the quality, and we can adhere to that quality and preach that quality.
Yeah, it was neat to see because like on the table they had at the Snap Fest at Miller Park this year, they had the concentrates from like the crew. This is what a
every
raw
step of the extraction,
raw
start to
extract
finish,
all the way up to pure
first
diamonds.
distillation, second distillation, all the way to diamonds. Yeah, yeah.
That was cool. I bet a lot of folks were. I probably have to imagine what 95% of the people were like, "What is this?"
Yeah, especially the diamonds.
Yeah.
When you see it, most people haven't seen that pure of a concentration. There's physically nothing more pure. It's 100% THC, or with CBD isolates, things like that. All of our isolates. So
yeah, isolated cannabinoids.
Yeah,
and that's some of the beauty about those is whenever you make something, because a lot of the products that we make are really strong for here's a brownie, it's 250 milligrams.
Yeah.
But to be able to
bite size, 250 milligrams.
Exactly. Yeah, not like a brown. I mean, it is a brownie bite.
Yeah.
So I've always enjoyed doing the little brownie bites.
For sure.
But it is cool because a lot of times people will try make cannabis edibles at home or whatever, try their friends something, and it tastes like you're chewing on some nugs. So we take a lot of pride.
It's in there. Yeah, when it's that potent, it's in there. And using our live resin, our BHO is phenomenal for all our edibles because it just has an incredible taste. It's not just a full distillate. So distillates have all your terpenes, everything that gives it cannabis flavor is taken out of it, so it doesn't really have that enjoyable cannabis flavor when it comes to just distillate. So using all of our BHOs in all of our edibles and consumables, I mean, the flavor profile is incredible. We still have that terpene content, so it still tastes like real cannabis and not something extracted, or like fully distilled. So
for sure. Definitely enjoy the beauty about that aspect for sure, because whenever you take a raw full spectrum product with the terps and the flavor and you make something out of it, that the entourage effect, just the idea whenever you chew into it and that gummy that you're eating tastes like a little bit of cannabis in it, but it's in a good way, not a like,
exactly.
It tastes like it's
not a bitter way.
A
good way, you have your terpenes, your flavonoids, everything that keeps it as close to its pure state as possible, infused in our edibles. So.
And it's so hard to like explain this to so many folks because at the end of the day, like, so you have a distillate. It's like maybe in the brewery aspect, we can kind of compare alcohol. Whenever you're making alcohol, you'll make your mash or whatnot, you'll distill it over and you'll have this pure, refined, this is nothing but alcohol, and it's at X amount of percentage or whatever. But whenever you do that with cannabis and you say this is the THC, it's nothing but 80-90% THC in this jar and it's been remediated, here's THC. But when you remove the minor cannabinoids and you remove the terpenes and flavonoids and all the fats and lipids and all the different stuff that's naturally in there, whenever you smoke it and you intake it, you're getting a little bit of everything, right? But whenever you distill it and you clean it and you remove it, you're only getting the THC. So you remove some of that entourage, that what makes something a lot of folks call it like the indica sativa type effects on methods. Like how's this going to affect me? Well, the THC is going to affect you how THC affects you, but all these other minor things that are in cannabis science that we use to formulate our products with is really what makes it like that extra little difference. And it's one of those things that's hard to explain to people, but
it's so minor, but such a big thing at the same time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and we like to keep it as close to the source as possible. Like you said, once you remove all those things, you remove all the entourage effect, all the other ways that, even just 1% of CBD, how that affects the THC that's being absorbed into the body. There's many different studies showing how the entourage effect completely changes it, like the overall feeling and effects of it. And we really want to stay as close to cannabis as possible. Like pure THC, it's great, but it's been cleaned up, short effect. You get more of a mind high. You don't really fully get the full body high that you can with full spectrum extracts, So we really like to minimally process all of our extracts. That way you get that full flavor, filling, every effect that you want in cannabis is there. It's like consuming the flower itself, It's not just pure concentrated THC, which we do have, but the full entourage effect is the way to go. Really? Flavor-wise, effect-wise, everything about it's better. We want to keep everything as natural and as pure, as close to cannabis as possible, for sure.
And yeah, it's like I said, it's always a hard one to describe and explain to people. But the biggest question that we get asked is, every day people come into our stores and they realize like, why are your products better than others? I go to the gas station, I go to this other CBD shop or whatever, and it's okay, but it's inconsistent or it's not as effective. And I come here and it's just exactly what I want every time and on every product. And the back end of like what Branson does in the production management and in the extraction role that he's played, these little differences that we're talking about completely make a product better. I mean, side by side, what we've done, we did a chocolate bar run whenever we first started doing chocolate bars, because it was like, well, chocolate bars with distillate versus chocolate bars with BHO. We made like 200 chocolate bars with one, which another explanation too would be car oil. The cartridges, like the vapes. If you've ever hit a vape and you're like, this works, but you got to hit it a bunch and it doesn't last as long, and it's not like, smoking a joint or whatever. The same idea is like when you smoke a joint, you're smoking some flower, it's got everything in it, it's full spectrum. But you hit that cart, you're just hitting just the THC or just the CBD or whatever, just a cart. So that's a good analogy for some folks that have smoked the vapes and kind of like, they work and they're portable.
Yeah, they're portable. They're convenient. That's why we make vapes. They're convenient. They're great for portability, on the go consumption. They're great. But yeah, like you said, the certain products that we do produce can be limited on the the overall entourage effect when it comes to more Delta 8, stuff like that. All of our THCA and everything of that sort is full spectrum. Everything that goes into our gummies and edibles, all full spectrum. But other competitors too could also, they could say, oh well, ours is more potent or whatever. People can always push different things, like you said, gas station things or any other product like that. Why does this say it's stronger, but for some reason Snapdragon just hits harder and more consistent? It's because of the love that we put into it and keeping it full spectrum. Once you fully distill things, like, it's great, it's pure, it's clean, everything's third party lab tested, everything's good. But when you remove all those minors and terpenes and everything, you lose the overall real effects of cannabis. Like the full effects of cannabis that people want, because that's where the healing really starts.
And there's so much to it. Like whenever people come to us, people try to sell us stuff, people show us stuff all the time, and they'll bring us one lab test. Right, here's the COA of the cannabinoid analysis, and it's like, all right, it's 92% THC, great. But that's just one panel of the test. There are at least 5 other panels that you could run on that same product that would give you the results that really make a difference. The terpene analysis, flavonoids, stuff like that as well too. Yep. So there's a lot to it.
Yep.
But
it's crazy how 70 to 80% THC, but having that 1% CBD, 0.5% of CBG, a little bit of CBD, just having the full spectrum just changes the entire feeling of it. It's just more natural. We want to process as minimal as possible. We want to provide cannabis to people, not things altered in a lab. We want to provide cannabis.
And then but I guess trying to touch base on, because it is a common misconception, but even people coming in the retail stores that are talking about percentages on flower, they'll come in and be like, I want the highest percentage flower. And it's like, that's not always the case,
Highest doesn't always mean the best.
No, it does not. It does not. So we do a good job on ours. We've got a crew of folks that take all the flower and they'll smoke it and give us the reviews and stuff on it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So that can be a fun. You got any cool stories on some dab outs?
That happens all the time. Not too many dab outs. We try to minimize the dab outs on the clock, of course. But yeah, just samples. We got to know consistency. Anytime a batch is complete, we got to test it personally. We have to know it. It's what we want, not only through third-party lab testing. Everything is third-party lab tested. We know exactly what it contains down to every individual, everything that's inside of it. But we have to personally test it too. I wouldn't give anything to the public that we haven't thoroughly tested and consumed and know that it's what we want to provide to them.
Yeah.
So, every time with new strains of extracts that we do, new strains of flower, we got to try it out. We could load a little bowl, do something, you know.
Got to.
So new things, we're actually working on snow-capped flower, which is diamond THC. If you don't know, diamond's THC, pure THCA extract. It's an isolate, 100% pure THCA, and we are coating flour with it. So rolling nugs in diamond dust,
Frosty.
grinding up some diamonds to where it's a pure fine powder, and then rolling nugs in it, you know, coating them and adding a huge punch of THC to the flower. That's already incredible. It's already super potent. It's already great. But I love the R&D process, especially with new products, like developing ways to make everything more efficient, not only from a manufacturing production aspect of like actual labor to produce it, but how can we make this product the best it can be? And going through the process of snow capping, which is THCA diamond dusting, we've noticed that, you know, all flour has residual moisture in it, right? There's always a specific percentage of moisture, you know, left in the flour after the curing process. So we can coat the flour and works great, looks great, holds very well as long as it's a fine powder. It sticks to all the little crevices and all the, you know, everything that's already on the flour. It sticks very well. But we've noticed that if you let it cure, if you let it sit for a day or two, the completely dry diamond powder on the outside will actually start to absorb some of the residual moisture in the nug itself, and it gives like it creates more of a solid coat on it. You know, it's not just, oh, this has powder on it, you know, but if you shake it up a lot, that powder can start falling off. It kind of creates like a
little bond.
Oh yeah, it bonds very well when it's cured appropriately to where it has this thick layered coat on it. So it's very nice, and with that you're gonna lose a lot less, you know, dust from, you know, the packaging as well. If we have it in a little jar, you know, some stuff will come off eventually, but
that'd be the worst if you open up your jar and it's all
all the diamonds have fallen off. Yeah, exactly. So the curing is very crucial to give the public the product that, you know, the best product that we can give them, you know. And that's one of our big things about R&D is we're not just slinging out random things like, oh, let's do this. No, we do it. We test it. We see how we can make it better. We improve. We do 3-4 different versions before, you know, anything would ever leave the production facility. So, you know, just this was a good new current example of how we strive for innovation and perfecting a product before it leaves the door, you know.
Nice. So. And also to even like speaking about the moisture content, you know, whenever we do the grow and the cure and the dry and all the, you know, the true cure process, like 58 to 62% humidity is what we try to keep them at. So even when we do our flour in bags, we do the Bovita and the boost packs. The boost packs.
Keep it hydrated. Well, appropriately hydrated. Humidity regulation.
Yeah, humidity regulation. And it's cool in those packs too because they'll regulate up and regulate down.
Exactly.
So if you put it in there, the humidity in the bag, it's a little dry. It's like 52, 54. It'll bring it up to 58.
Yep.
But if you put it in the bag, humidity is like 63, 64, 65. Once you cross over that 65 number, you can if you put a nug in a bag at 65 and you throw it in a drawer for a week or two, you're gonna come back and there's gonna be mold growing in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So it helps prevention of that.
With water comes living things, mold, all the things we want to, you know, prevent. So it definitely helps. Every single bag of flour you will ever buy from Snapdragon will have a humidity regulating boost pack in it. So we do everything we can for quality. Everything. We don't want anything to go bad. We don't want to have a single customer get a product that, you know, that is subpar. You know, we aim for quality.
Yeah, for sure. So all the fun things about it. What else you thinking?
Yeah, the drinks, man. Rens 9, our own, you know, specific process of
the
nano emulsification.
The drinks,
that's just the game changer, like the forefront of all upcoming products. You know, being able to produce water-soluble cannabinoids. I mean, that hasn't happened, and 10 years ago that didn't exist. You know, so us taking some existing technology and processes and creating an even better upgraded version of that with our Rens 9 technology, you know, taking what other pioneers in the cannabis industry have already demonstrated and given to us and pushing the boundaries of how can we make it better, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Especially my favorite thing about the Rens 9 is flavor. complete flavor.
It's so wild to
Flavor.
out of all these ones that we've tried over the years, and we do really think we've got something. This is the gold standard in water soluble THC, probably in the entire world. I don't think there's anything better that I've ever tried as far as the effectiveness, the onset, the speed, and the flavor. The fact that that was kind of why we in our industry, it was unique to showboat just water, but there was never anybody ever able to take just water without flavoring it with
no sugar, no nothing,
of citric acid or lemon, or it's just the citric, anything to combat that bitterness that comes with it.
And citrus combats it very well, but with our flavor profile, I mean, we're like the only company that can produce water.
Yeah, but we can put water
THC,
THC,
no other ingredients,
and it tastes like
boom. Yeah, you almost can't even tell. When we get to our higher doses, you have a little hempiness, but it's not bitter. It's not jarring for sure. Mm-hmm. It's a very smooth flavor. I mean, you drink a 10 milligram Cannabis, which is our canned sparkling water, like, you don't taste it at all. There's no taste. It's just water. It's just straight water.
Once you get in the 25s, you start to get a little bit of flavor with it, and then the 50s and the 100s, of course, are the 100
milligrams
in a can of water. Yeah, and it's so cool. No carbs, no nothing. It's just water. So that was the big push for that one, because the people are coming in that are diabetic, or have to watch their sugar, or watch their whatever intake that they have. There's no artificial sweeteners. There's nothing.
Yeah, and at home mocktails and things like that. I love the water because it's so versatile. It's just water. It's literally just water. You can you want to brew it, you want to pour it in the back of your coffee pot and have THC coffee. You can do so many things with it. It's really incredible. Because we like to offer a full range of flavors. We have sodas, we have sparkling waters, we have seltzers. We offer a lot of things.
The energy drink.
The Dragon Fuel. It's good stuff. THCV. Great stuff.
I've been drinking that one. Actually, I've always been a fan of like the Red Bulls, right?
Yeah, of course.
So the kind of idea on this one was like, let's kind of look at like what is like a Red Bull kind of rock star kind of dragon fruit type flavor on it. So you kill the flavor. It tastes great. And it's got some CBD in it, some THCV in it for a little bit of the focus. It does have
a little bit of Delta 9, 5 milligrams.
Yeah, 5 milligram Delta 9 THC. So there's a little bit of high there, but that high kind of combats all from the V and the
and just the energy, caffeine, and everything as well. So as you're getting that energy rise, you're getting a little bit of THC as well. So it's balancing. It's a good effect for sure.
Yeah. So that's been a recent one. And then the blood orange as well too. That was
blood orange seltzer.
That was a fun one. That was a real fun one. On that one, the kind of idea behind that one is it's 6 milligram THC and then 4 CBD for a kind of good overall body.
10 total.
Yeah, 10 total. So then the idea for that one is kind of the same thing. No carbs, no sugars, and then 100% vitamin C, some electrolytes, sodium, stuff like that from the Lost Sea in Ohio.
Yes. So. With our waters being calorie-free and whatnot, it's literally just water. We wanted to have that kind of infused, healthy alternative. That was my entire inspiration behind our seltzer line, is creating a health-conscious drink that, you could have 3 or 4 of them and not, be bloated, or like, it's like sodas. Like, we offer our sodas and they're great, but do people often drink 4 sodas back to back? No, not that much, But the seltzers, they're so easy drinking, they're so light, but every single 12-ounce can has 100% of your daily recommended vitamin C, and it's electrolyte infused with ancient sea salt from Utah. It's incredible. Utah. It's incredible stuff. We source it from a company in Utah, and, they do pure extractions. They're, in my opinion, some of the best salt in the world, but with today's table salt, it's so refined and processed that it doesn't really contain any nutritional value, because all the minerals have been pulled out of it. It's just, here's pure sodium, So with this salt that we add, don't be scared of sodium, because it's a very low sodium salt, but high mineral value. Like, it has over 100 trace minerals infused in it from copper and zinc and like everything that the body actually needs. So it's not just, here's a synthetic electrolyte, here's some sodium, it's not like your average sports drink. This is infused with very high mineral content, high trace mineral content, so it's a very health conscious, body forward, drink. And that was the whole goal. We have here in Chattanooga, we have a lot of it's the outdoor lifestyle. We have a lot of bikers, mountain bikers, hikers. We just, kayaking and water sports and whatnot. Tennessee in general, especially Chattanooga, is very outdoor friendly. We have so many activities we can do. So I wanted to cater to the active, outgoing customer. The people that can take one before a bike, a mountain bike, hitting a mountain bike trail or things like that. So more of a healthy alternative, but also with the thought of getting into more of the public consumption aspect, because 50 milligram and 100 milligram is great for the people that want that with their cannabis.
At the house on the couch.
Especially with the 100, you could be stuck on the couch for sure. So that's great for at-home use, or having a multi-dose thing. You can split it up. One good thing we could do with the 100 milligram is open it up, get an ice tray, and pour it into 10 individual ice trays and freeze it. And then each cube is 10 milligrams, so you could dose anything. Throw it in a Coke or whatever you want. You can dose anything, which is great. But with the lower, we try to provide for everyone. So we have our very high doses, but we also have our very low doses, because we want to support public consumption, especially in bars, local restaurants, things like that. We're popping up all over the place. Almost every liquor store in Chattanooga has all of our drinks. Most restaurants have our stuff now. We're partnering with breweries to do cannabis infused dinners, full cannabis dinners. So the possibilities are endless, but we want to provide that low dose to where, let's say you've got a group of friends and they're all drinkers, but you're the one that's not, so like, you don't want to go to a bar with them and just kind of feel left out. You no longer have to feel left out. You're right there, sit down, order a 10 milligram cannabis, have 3 or 4 of them. Similar onset to alcohol. Of course, the effects are completely different, but your onset is almost identical. You consume it, you'll feel it in about 15 minutes. It'll last about 3-4 hours, depending on the person and what you've eaten. But we're, with the Rens 9, not only do we want to deliver the best flavor we can, but we can give products that people can go out and feel confident about. Oh, I know that if I drink this, it's going to make me feel this exact way every single time. I'm not risking it with the brownie that, I don't know, it could get me way too high or not, Yeah. And with the edibles, all of our edibles are great and consistent, but it's just the time factor. It's waiting 45 minutes to an hour and a half to even start feeling the effects, but also those effects could last 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours, depending on the person for sure. But having that rapid onset, more similar to alcohol, makes it more public friendly, for public consumption,
Oh, for sure.
So, and that's really one of our driving forces with all of our cans and stuff, is we want to give that opportunity to the public that's never been there before, to hang out with your drunk friends when you're not a drinker,
Oh, without a doubt. And over the years, I'm sure, like myself, alcohol consumptions went down over the years. And for a lot of folks, It's kind of following the trend across the country since COVID. Alcohol consumption is on a decline. Cannabis consumption is on a pretty rapid, uptick. Up and up. So for these bars in town that have some amazing food at some of these bars, but the cannabis user is the guy that's going home and smoking with his friends on the couch or whatever it may be. They'll never get out to the bars and experience that good food. So that's trying to bridge the gap between what social cannabis use looks like and what consistent, kind of across the board social cannabis use looks like. So that's been our big push. Hospitality and beverage and all those type of things focusing on, and it's been so fun. 420 of 23 was kind of our first big push for that one. I think we did like 10 kegs of just here's 25 milligram cannabis into some kegs, and we give them out for free to the 10 different bars in town. It was like, you got to try this, you got to try that, you got to try it, you got to try it. And then some were scared of it.
For sure.
There's one in particular. It's an amazing burger place downtown. They were a little nervous about it at first because the way that we did it was 25 milligrams per, but we were like, don't do it this way. Do like a single like a shot's worth. So for every 2 ounces, you'd have roughly 5 milligrams in it. So it's like, do a shot to make mocktails with it. That way you can slowly introduce people to it. Well, one of the employees thought it was a good idea to do like a full 24 ounce glass of it and drink it, and was ripped at work. So that there's the learning that comes with it. There's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
learning and the knowledge that comes with it.
For sure, and especially with the also offering alcohol in the same facility,
yeah.
it's just the cross between. Some people are a little hesitant about mixing the two, which
Well, it doubles to triples the
people
effect.
do mix,
Yeah.
of course, but I feel like if you're at a public place and you're ordering a Cannabis, it's more likely it's because you're not drinking alcohol. So I feel like that's not a huge worry, but I do understand the all the local places about consuming both, a customer consuming both at the same time.
And the biggest part of that is that we're in this intro period about people are getting used to it. They're getting to understand. Even in 2022, before we started doing the slushies, I was unknowing of what 50 milligrams of water soluble was like and how it would affect during the day versus at night versus out versus at home versus with a beer or with whiskey or just with nothing. So it does take everybody to. I guess the key important thing on that was to know your dose.
Yeah, exactly.
So many folks, the first time they come in, they're like, we don't know. So we recommend everybody start with a 10.
Yeah, start low.
Some of the folks in the past that have been bold and wanted to start with the 50, usually never hate it, but usually are unknowing about what happens. Yeah, 30 minutes in, their eyes are bloodshot red. They're like, what in the world? I'm ripped.
But I mean, with anything, there's a learning curve. First time you ever consumed alcohol, you didn't know how it was going to affect you. How much do I consume? You didn't just sit there and chug half a bottle of vodka your very first time ever drinking. I mean, some people have, but that's the point. This is the learning curve with everything. So the little pushback we've gotten about that. That's always my thought is like, well, you have the same exact learning curve, if not worse, much worse for alcohol. How many people have overconsumed cannabis and got a little paranoid and might have, been a little too high, but were physically fine? And how many people overconsume alcohol and are throwing up for a day and just feeling like complete death,
Hungover.
So there's a big difference there. So
sure. I guess that's probably the biggest thing is it's for a lot of folks it's been a long time since it was their first drink or whatnot, so they've kind of forgotten what that was like. So bringing it back in, bring it to like it's a little nostalgic time. It's like but that intro
it's
into
just
the
learning curve. Everything has a learning curve. Anytime you're taking a new product that you've never consumed before, whether it be dosed or alcoholic or anything. There's a learning curve for everything,
Oh, for sure. And then once you know your dose, it's consistent. You can go to the bar and it's pretty quick to find out. You go to the bar or you go to one of our shops and you buy a 10 milligram drink. You give it a shot. You see what it does for you. Kicks in 15 minutes. If it only lasts 15 or 25 minutes and it wasn't strong enough for you, you go up to the 25. Yep. If you did the 10 and it was like, well, it was pretty good, but it lasted 3 or 4 hours for me and I kind of wish it wasn't as strong. Drink half of it or get the 6 milligram. Yep. So it's usually like 2 or 3 trials and errors.
And you're good. You know what you need. Yeah. And it's just the onset. It's just so fast that you can gauge it relatively easy with, your standard consumables, non-water soluble, having that hour kick-in time. You'll be 45 minutes in and you're like, oh, I don't feel anything. So you get another gummy or whatever. And then they both kick in and you're like, okay, I way overdid it. Happens to a lot of people, But with the water soluble, you got 15 minutes. You can wait 15 minutes before you know the effects and how it's hitting you currently, So it's much easier to learn your dosage with that. But with that being said, the way that the RINS 9 kicks in so fast and can skip a lot of the digestion aspect, unlike the standard edibles where it can, pass through the blood-brain barrier and all that much quicker for faster onset. With that, you just learn to control your things a lot better, you just have a more consistent, fast onset. So you just, it's easier to gauge. And like I said, after 2 or 3 doses, you know what's good for you and what's not. Everyone's different. Some people can't go past 25 milligrams, and some people need 100 to really get what they want out of it, So
it's definitely wild to see some of the different folks because a majority of people are perfectly fine the 10 to 25 milligram.
Yeah,
I'd probably
I'm a 25er.
Yeah, 25.
Once I hit 25, I'm good.
Random. I've not had a 25 in a couple months. I've been a fan of the dam water, the 50 milligram dam water.
That's my favorite flavor for sure. Yeah, God, it's so good.
So good. It's like
blueberry coconut lemonade. It's it's reminiscent of an ocean water. It's incredible.
Yeah.
That's
So that's been my
Yeah.
go-to here lately. But
I'm most proud of the blood orange because of its health benefits, but flavor wise, you can't beat the damn water.
Oh,
Damn
it's so
water
good.
all day. It's so good. But it's problematic for me personally because it's too good. You know, because
Yeah.
it's 50 milligrams, so like half of that can is good enough for me.
Mm.
But I'll never drink half a can. It's too good. I can't stop drinking it. You know?
Oh, it's too. Yeah, you'll get through a can
But
quick.
with that, if you're local, check out the Dragon Lounge because we have it on tap and it's only 10 milligrams on tap when it's 50
Yeah.
milligrams in the can. So if you really enjoy that flavor, but you want to consume more and not overconsume your cannabis, we have it in 10 milligram option at the Dragon downtown as well.
right.
So
At the Dragon.
yep, downtown lounge. Yeah, the public consumption or that side of things, being able to have dab bars and consumption bars, lounges, and being in local restaurants. I mean, it's been a game changer for our company as a whole.
Yeah,
and
the
what
stigma
we can
and
do.
what people think and what people see, and just like the idea. And that's one of the most fun things I really enjoyed, especially we just opened the Dragon, and the grand opening was on February 2nd of this year, so that was fun. But just as you look around, it's somebody from all walks of life that's there. The demographics
Oh, yeah.
is just
Yep.
it's so cool.
Yeah, it's not one crowd. It's you got a variety.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. Like, it just brings back in that something for everybody. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
exactly. And
so.
that's what we want to provide. We're not for one person. We're for everyone.
Mhm.
Snapdragon is for all.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I mean, circling back to the flavor profile of just our Rins 9, even the unflavored, just water soluble dose as is, having such a minimal flavor. I mean, restaurants have been opening up to infusing their sauces. We've partnered with a few food trucks and local pop-ups. Shout out to Smash Boys. Yeah, they had their dragon sauce infusing burgers. I mean, their burgers are incredible. You can't go wrong with a Smash
yeah.
burger. I mean,
No,
check them out. They're all over Chattanooga. They pop up in all kind of events and local bars, things like that. But yeah, that's one collab I've been very excited about because they've been pushing it. It's been doing really good. So just being able to help local, that's the big thing. I noticed like what we do at Snapdragon is we support local. We are local, so we support local. Buying our slushy flavors from local holders, supplying to local, not big chain but local restaurants, things like that. So that's been really nice. But going into a little bit of science behind the Rins 9 technology and why it tastes so different. Realistically, it's whenever you nano-emulsify things, which is, the process of making oil compatible with water, because water and oil will never be fully miscible. It'll never be fully mixed at all. It's just getting the oil compatible with water to where it won't separate over time. It could be a year later and this stuff will not separate, so you'll never have any kind of separation issues. But with nano-emulsifying, you're physically blasting an ultrasonic sound into into a dose of cannabinoids and water, so you're breaking apart the molecule clusters because all like molecules want to cluster and create big chunks. Basically, they'll want to, if you think about salad dressing, you got to shake it up, that balsamic or whatever, like Thousand Island, you always get that separation, right? That's just oil and water. But from the flavor aspect, whenever you nano-emulsify, what you're doing is you're shrinking the molecular size or the molecule clusters, you're shrinking them to a smaller size. So as you shrink, you are increasing surface area. So that's why most other companies' products just taste so bad. You get that extreme bitterness because, one, they're using distillates, unlike our BHO. So they're using kind of a more flavorless or more altered version of THC or whatever cannabinoid it is, removing all the terpenes and everything. You get more of a synthesized, almost chemical taste. It's not chemical; it's all natural derived. But
when you get to a certain purity,
when you get to a certain purity, it has that kind of
pure
chemical taste.
Isolated taste.
Isolated taste. That's a
Yeah.
good word. Yeah, isolated taste. So, yeah. So with that, you have when you decrease the molecular size, you are increasing surface area, which means the more of that product touches your tongue, hits your taste bud receptors. So with that being said, it's so bitter. It's so bad. Most companies that produce their water soluble stuff just you can't get past flavor. You just can't because you can add flavors and they have to add so much sugar and all this stuff to get there, but you can't get rid of that bitterness. It just tastes so bad. So with our RINS 9 technology, that was the driving force of how do we make it what we want, but not make it taste terrible?
Yeah.
How can we make it taste so good that we could put it in water with no flavoring, no sugar, and it's a great product, you know? So that's been the driving force behind that, and that's probably one of my big, most proud accomplishments working with Snapdragon is achieving our RINS 9 technology. It's it's game changing for the industry and just us as a business,
And it gets a little difficult, and this goes back to some of the USDA aspects of things. So to be considered a certified organic product, USDA comes in, does all your inspections, and certifies you, right? But we're not at that level quite yet. Hopefully soon this new facility that we get will be on board with all the USDA GMP,
Yep.
all the different, all the fun stuff. GMP first, or GMP first, and then USDA certified organic on some of the products that we do. But everything that we do for creating our RINS 9 technology is an organic product.
It already is, yes.
And so some of the surfactant blends that we use are already certified organic. So getting into our certification won't be difficult to do.
And they're completely natural, which is it's crazy how well this came together, because a lot of other companies, they achieve that small molecular size in their nanoemulsions because of the chemical additives, because of the extreme amount of surfactants and everything that goes into it. And we've accomplished a much better product that isn't just better for the consumer as far as taste. It's all natural organic material. So like we're not using anything synthesized, no random chemicals to make this water soluble. It is 100% natural, and that's what we strive for.
Oh yeah, there's definitely been some other companies, hemp companies, cannabis companies, in the past 5 years or so, and they've focused their entire business model on the water soluble.
Yep.
And I've seen what they've done. I've kind of followed. They never made something taste near what ours does as far as the flavor goes. Where they said, you know what, get to the flavor, it kicks in quicker, it works better, to whatever. Those guys, they're not doing as good anymore. But the idea of it's not a perfect solution for everybody for everything, but it is amazing for so many people. So that's why, we do a lot of water soluble stuff, but not everything's water soluble.
Yep.
Because there are still some pros of the oil for long term.
For long term
Yeah,
storage and whatnot.
Earlier you were talking about the tinctures and stuff like that. The tinctures is just a little dropper bottle. You take a dropper and put it underneath your tongue, pure oil. Yeah. So the tinctures are dosed up, and they can be really strong for a tincture. You can take a 116 milligram dose is the strongest we do. The worry free. It's just for one dropper's worth. It's 116 milligram of CBD. And it lasts because you're taking so much all day.
Yeah, exactly.
So some of the pros about that are it does take up 30, 45 minutes for it to kick in, but when it kicks in, it lasts for a long time because of the half-life and stuff like that. So we still do see some pros in the oil base, but this water soluble.
There'll always be pros, but the water soluble it means we can put it in anything. Yeah. We're not just tinctures and brownies. We can put it in anything. You need infused sauces, barbecue sauce, steak sauce. You want
infused
anything.
Baked potato?
Yeah, anything. Anything. So any kind of drink, anything we can put in a can, we'll put in a can.
Oh, yeah, no, without a doubt. That's been some of the fun aspects of it for sure. And also too, with being able to do the water soluble, with our vacuum ovens and some technology we've got at the lab for doing the powderized process.
Powderized is, we've got some upcoming good things coming with, drink packets, things like that.
Yeah, so on the go solutions.
On the go, powderized. Yep.
So some of that type of ideas is super exciting, super fun for all that. And then I guess maybe what's outro look like? This is Josh. It's been fun.
Bye.
No.
Say it however you want to.
All right. Well, Branson, it's been so fun having you on today as our journey for this podcast and letting people in Tennessee and the country know that we're doing in the Tennessee hemp market here. It's been so fun, all the fun explanations, and anything you'd like to say before we dip out of here?
It's been great. I'm glad I could provide quality to the public. That's our main goal. So I'm glad I can provide that, with just new things, especially things that other companies can't produce. They can't match a lot of our water soluble things. They just can't. So, that's really nice for sure. But yeah, it's been great. Thanks for having me on the Yes, It's Legal podcast.
It's legal.
Because it is federally
It is.
and state.
And stuff.
So,
Thank you, Tennessee.
thank you, Tennessee. Keep up the
The push.
the good regulations, because we're not opposed to regulation. We want regulation.
Oh yeah, we
gotta
regulation.
prove quality. Even if it wasn't regulated, we would personally make sure that we still have third party COAs. Everything is lab tested. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
we're not opposed to regulation. We need regulation,
Mhm.
but
Just want to make sure because we've always tried to go above and beyond from day one, making an amazing product that's consistent. But it's one of those where it's like, if not everybody's doing it, and you go to the gas station, you get the bad word of mouth, and then people are like, "Oh, this is trash. Nobody buys it no more." And it puts a bad name for what we do out there.
yeah, exactly.
So we want regulation because we want to control, make sure the market is doing the right thing for everybody in the most healthy way. Whenever it comes in regards to just the public health and safety of the citizens of this state, I do believe that it's our job and responsibility to hold those standards and make sure that we're doing everything the right way. And it is it's a frustrating aspect to see other people that don't care about that and are just in it for the quick money real fast. So hopefully it's something that Tennessee gets on board, continues doing what they're doing,
Yep.
and listens to what we got to say.
Well, thanks, Josh. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Branson.
I'm Branson, and yes, it's legal.